You are tuning in to the You Are Loved podcast, where we hope to bring love and kindness to the world.
Welcome to another You Are Loved podcast. We are excited to have Monica Fry on the podcast with us today. After graduating college, she embraced digital minimalism, a decision that transformed her life. Through it, she discovered a deeper peace, greater creativity, and a more comfortable and a more intimate relationship with God. Guided to prayer and personal growth, she felt a clear calling to become a mindset coach who specializes in smartphones and social media addiction. Today, she helps ambitious women break free from the digital overwhelm and experience the joy and freedom of a more intentional life. Welcome, Monica. Thank you so much for hopping on with us today.
Thank you for having me, Jacqueline. It's an honor.
So I just want to remind everybody to make sure that they like and subscribe so that way they can get access to all the podcasts as well as our amazing shorts that we have also. So, Monica, share a little bit about your transformation and what really made you decide to move from, because you're in your mid-20s, and to move from, being, I guess, addicted to smartphone, social media. I mean, I grew up with a landline and with no phone, and like you couldn't get in touch with us unless we were at home or they called our job and snuck us on the phone. But now I'm probably addicted to my smartphone as well. So tell us a little bit about that transformation.
Yeah. So I graduated from college December 2022, and the way I describe it to people is I was walking into my postgraduate chapter of my life with a lot of expectations. I had this image in my mind of what my life was supposed to look like. And part of that was formed by the social media culture I grew up in. You see everyone's highlight reel. You see the graduation photos, and then you see the engagement photos shortly after that. Because at my school, I went to Texas A&M, and it's not uncommon for people to find their spouse in college at my school, and especially in the faith communities at my school. And you'd see the engagement photos, and then you would see the fun trips that people take after college when they have their own adult job and they have their own money now. And you see the independence, and you see people start families. Like, you see all that on social media. And I had it in my mind that my life was going to look glamorous. And very shortly, within a couple of months after graduating, I was in one of the lowest places I've been. And it was the first of many low moments I've experienced since graduating. But the reason why the first one was so jarring was because of the expectations that I had going into that season. And pretty soon I found myself very just depressed and anxious, not clinically, but just situationally, based on feeling like I was a failure, feeling like I'm not good enough to have the life that everyone else has. Like, that was a story I was telling myself. Everyone else has a great life and you don't have anything figured out. I went through a breakup. My college boyfriend and I didn't end up staying together, and it was a very difficult season. And in the middle of February, right before my birthday, right before, right around Valentine's Day, Lent was coming up, and I saw one of the most popular influencers in the Catholic faith space post a post about how she was logging off from social media for Lent. And the caption really captivated me and made me wonder, how could things shift if I just took a break? I wasn't in the boat of I'm going to completely get rid of social media at the time, but I was like, what if I just took a break? And if somebody with thousands and thousands and thousands of followers, tens of thousands of followers, is going to take a break, then like, why can't I? I'm just a I'm just a girl with a private Instagram account with maybe 200 followers. So, and I just post my life. I don't influence. So I decided to log off for Lent. And what I describe once I unplugged was a avalanche of awareness about how this little tiny app called Instagram has really, really shaped the way I view myself and the way I view the agenda I have for my own life, rather than letting my life happen the way it's meant to. Me being the one who claims that I know exactly how everything should go. And realizing too that what if there was just as much significance in the small day-to-day moments as there is in those highlight reels that you're primed to post. You're primed to post when you're having fun at a concert. You're primed to post when you get engaged. You're primed to post when you have your first child. You're primed to post when you graduate. You're not primed to post when it's 2 a.m. and you don't know if you're going to pass the test the next day and you're cramming for an exam. You're not primed to post when you just got some not necessarily terrible, but not necessarily praiseworthy feedback from your supervisor at work. You're not primed to post then. But what if those moments were just as significant as the moments we are primed to post? I started asking myself so many questions that I never asked myself before. I even asked myself, what if I looked at my own life with awe and inspiration the way I look at everyone else's life? And it transformed a time that initially was a disappointment and a rock bottom into realizing that I didn't actually have to be on Instagram. I didn't have to be on Facebook. Because everyone else around us is on it, we have this idea that we have to be on it to socially fit in. And it's one of the things I discovered when I started doing research on this topic that year was, am I on Facebook because I want to be on Facebook? Am I on Instagram because I want to be on Instagram? Or am I on Instagram because I think that I have to? And once Easter came around and Lent was over, I was like, I don't want to go back. I just don't. Not only do I not want to go back, but I want to wipe my accounts from existence. I want to delete them. I want to symbolize to myself that I'm starting over, and I'm starting over with the way I even look at my life and the life of other people. I'm changing the way I relate to others. The people that I'm meant to stay in contact with and I'm meant to be friends with, I want deeper friendships than keeping up with them. And the people I'm not meant to keep up with, I don't want to look at their life and tell myself stories about their life that might not even be true, because I don't actually talk to them or text them or call them or meet up with them or live life with them. And then I was like, okay, so you're aware that you do this with social media. I deleted my accounts, but my screen time was still at the same level because I was going to YouTube and Spotify and Safari.
You're filling it with something else. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, what would life look like if I didn't have a smartphone? Like, did I ask myself the same questions about smartphones that I asked myself about social media? Do I have this because I actually want to have it? Or do I have it because I think I need it? And I didn't need it for work. I found a loophole. I made my iPhone a dumb phone. I only had 6 applications on my iPhone for a week. When I was figuring this out, I was like, I can get around every loophole. I can have my laptop and I can open it where I have Wi-Fi. I can track my spending with cash or a calculator, before I track my spending by having to log on banking apps. I can become more comfortable with navigating rather than relying on GPS like it's life support. And by the end of April, I swapped phones and I've never had a smartphone since. So April 2023 was when I swapped it, and I've never had a smartphone since. And I did have some worries of what if getting off the grid was going to affect my ability to be in the know. And I did have a lot of fears, but I told myself that if this wasn't a lifestyle change that was going to work for me, I'm not getting married. I can change my decision. Like any other decision, then that one I can change. If I don't like being off the grid, I can get a smartphone again. With social media, I deactivated my accounts, and then I deleted my accounts, and they give you 30 days to go back and recover all your posts and everything. But I've never once wanted to go back in the last 28 months, almost 30 months. I have never once wanted to go back. So that's the long version of how I got started on this.
Did you switch over to like a flip phone? Like a digital flip phone?
No, I actually switched over to the Wise phone. There's this small startup company in Texas called Techless, and their phones look like smartphones on the outside, but they don't have internet on them. And they don't call them apps, they call them tools. So they have only the tools that you need. So they actually do have a GPS on their phone, and they have a camera on their phone, and except you don't really need a camera, but I don't know who is staring at a blank camera. They do have a feature where you can only see the most recent photo you took. You can't scroll through your camera roll, and then you upload the photos to the cloud on your computer. So, which I also loved, because I noticed, wow, when I go to concerts or when I hang out with friends or when I take photos, I take way less photos now because I don't feel this pressure to perform with my life and always be doing something fun to like prove to the 200 people that follow me that I'm happy.
Right.
But I found that when I'm taking 20 something photos and within an hour of having fun so that I could post it, I'm actually having a lot less fun than if I'm just enjoying it in the moment.
Yeah.
So I take less photos now. That's the funny thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, some selfies with some friends and stuff like that's always good. If you want to
Just
print them out, put them
no
in
one's going to read the scrapbook but me.
Yeah, and you put them in like a scrapbook or a photo album or something like that.
Yep.
That's great. I love going through old photo albums of me when I was back in my 20s and teens and stuff like that. It's really great. So now that you've had an opportunity to like coach other individuals, and you know, a lot of people, they feel a constant pull to like check their phones.
Oh yeah.
So now that you've gone through this transformation, like from your experience, what do you think are some of the hidden ways like smartphone use robs us of like peace, creativity, and our connection with God? Because you spoke about that as well.
This is an amazing question, because this is something I chewed on for a whole year before I finally pursued doing work around this area for others. The first thing that I noticed in myself, and then I started doing research and having a lot of conversations with other people and realizing that this was the universal experience, is when we have a smartphone and we can't survive or we can't mentally be at peace if our phone isn't within an arm's distance. How many people are at their corporate jobs or even in the car, like driving, and they can't survive like in their mind without their phone being an arm's distance away and being able to just check it. Even if like just check it. Like that was one of the things I was shocked with the first couple of months I didn't have a smartphone, was how many times I grabbed my phone, checked it, and then I was like, there's nothing on it. And I would have to put it back down. Because I'm like, there's literally nothing to do on this. So I might as well just stare into the oblivion and be bored.
Or read a book. Not on your phone.
Like I started bringing books in my purse, like when I was going to doctor's appointments or dentist appointments, when I was in the waiting room, because I'm like, I can't do anything on my phone while I'm waiting. But I started noticing that just sitting there, whether you're working or doing something productive or not, sitting there and being able to hear your own thoughts and not be pulled away compulsively allows for greater creativity, and it allows for your thoughts to be yours. What do I mean by that?
Yeah.
so many of my opinions in college and in high school were opinions that I had because it was groupthink.
Yeah.
Were opinions that I had because I saw that somebody posted or saw a YouTube video and I thought, oh, I agree with that. But what I noticed is when I started forming opinions and thoughts that were original, I discovered who I was. I discovered what I wanted out of life. I became more aware of my own wounds and areas of my life that I needed healing, areas of my life that I needed to grow that are sometimes painful, but what's more painful to me is the life of regret, of being complacent and being in the status quo, than going out of your comfort zone to improve areas of your life that you're weak in. I noticed, wow, I don't know how to socialize off of social media. In high school and in college, I was just grouped with people because I had a class with them, or I played a sport with them, or I was in a club with them, or I went to church with them, or like friends just came to your doorstep in high school and college. But after college, it hit me because none of my college friends moved to Dallas when I moved to Dallas. I didn't have friends, and I was no longer in touch with my high school friends. And I was like, I don't think I know how to make friends in real life. I know how to DM someone on Instagram if I see that they have similar interests as me and they live in the same area as me, and maybe grab coffee with them. I know how to do that over DMs, but I don't know how to go to an event when I know nobody there and have simple conversations and make the efforts to cultivate friendships. I don't know how to do that. And that was a realization that was difficult until I started forcing myself out of my comfort zone, learning by action how to do these things. And then when I had conversations with other people, I realized they also didn't know how to do that. So I was like, okay, so this is not just a me thing. But to answer your question, the creativity about your own ideas, creativity about the activities and the friendships you want to build, as well as getting closer to God. I couldn't sit there and focus on prayer for even 5 minutes without wondering who was texting me.
Yeah.
Who's texting me? Am I missing a text? And I would fawn and apologize if I didn't get back to someone within maybe an hour. Sorry, I took so long to get back to you. But now I'm like, why is that the universal expectation that people respond to us right away? Because we think people are always on their phones. One. And two, we value texting someone and communicating with them digitally more than we value being present to what's in front of you in real life.
Yeah.
Maybe I am on my phone, and maybe I did see that you texted me, but maybe right now I'm at a concert and I don't want to text anyone while I'm at this concert because I don't want to miss what's right in front of me.
Right.
Maybe I'm reading a book and I just don't want to interrupt my train of thought with being into this book and the relaxation and the pleasure it's giving me by getting into a conversation. And then I respond to you, you're probably going to text me back right away. And then I text you back right away. And now, so when it comes to prayer, are we able to focus on that and focus on being present to mental prayer, to meditation without even it crossing our mind like that someone might be texting us right now? And the beautiful thing is, once I started having difficult conversations where everyone who was expecting me to respond to them right away, and they were worried that I got into a car accident or worried that I went to the hospital or something, like because I didn't respond to them in 4 hours or half a day even, I started telling having conversations with family and friends where I said, hey, this is the life I'm living right now. I don't even have a smartphone anymore. I don't check my phone that often. I if I don't respond to you, it's because I'm not on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all it means, is that I'm just not on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious now. People don't text me that often because they know if it's worth an immediate response, it's worth a phone call.
Yeah.
So text now is a medium to schedule in-person hangouts or meetups or coffee chats or whatever, as well as a phone call or a video call. Like that
Mm-hmm.
is what text is a medium for now. Or maybe to
Mm-hmm.
send a funny meme that doesn't need an immediate response.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
it's so yeah, that's how it affects both creativity, also confidence and originality, as well as having a deeper relationship with God. Those are the things I've noticed in myself. And then when I started talking to other people and working with people on this, I was not alone in those realizations, but a lot of this is stuff we're just not thinking about because we're living on autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. How do you think God has affirmed you and like your calling since you've made that decision?
Yeah, so when I was discerning making this career change from working what I was doing before to having a entrepreneurial structure of my work, and one of the things I would be doing for work is being a coach and coaching people through social media addiction, through healing and their own transformations. It occurred to me just how many books the Lord revealed to me, just how many books aren't being written because
Mm.
we're so distracted and we're spending so much time on our phone, and the deep focus that's required to write a book and the deep buy-in that constant compulsive distraction can affect. Just how many parents aren't spending quality time with their kids because they're checking their phones and they're just putting their kids in front of the TV.
Mm.
Just how many students aren't able to focus and master complex problems because the art of sitting with something until you figure it out is lost when you can get the instant gratification of the quicker dopamine hit of TikTok.
Yeah.
Just how many children aren't learning the social skills that my generation also didn't learn because we grew up with smartphones. And how many parents are now millennials and Gen Z is starting to have children. The generations that grew up with smartphones are starting to raise another generation, and how much of how we're about to have the iPad generation. And when I realized just how deep the need is, it came to my attention that it's so big of a need that I am robbing the world by not having these conversations, by not starting my own podcast, starting my own outreach, starting my own writing. Like, I didn't just want to build coaching around this because I'm not able to coach every person that's addicted to their phone. And because I don't have my own social media presence personally, I'm not able to influence the massive. So I did fall back into some of those social media lies of I can't make a difference because I don't have a big platform, until I realized that no, but the difference that you do make in the people is going to impact generations. It's also going to
Mm-hmm.
impact people in need, because
Mm-hmm.
helping people focus better through their own school is going to help whoever they work for and whoever they work with in their future.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm robbing the world by having this calling and passion and not doing anything about it. And when I
Mm-hmm.
realized that, it helped me get over the overwhelm of I'm just one person and I'm not going to be able to make near as much of a difference as these influencers do. Because I fell into that lie. But the truth is the transformation I offer in my coaching, it's a lot deeper than just a bite-sized reel.
Yeah. When you were talking about like being out of the loop, like you were kind of afraid that you weren't going to know what was going on and different things like that. So, and you've gone through that transformation, like how could someone begin to live more intentionally without feeling like deprived or out of the loop? Like how did you do that? Or when you've coached others, what are some suggestions that you've provided to them?
Absolutely. The first thing I point out to people is if you intentionally make the effort to stay in touch with your closest friends and your family, you're going to hear enough people are in the loop that you're going to be in the loop just by being in the loop of your relationships with other people. There have been plenty of times that I was on the phone with someone and somebody mentioned something going on in the world and I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh yeah, I forgot. You're not on social media. You don't follow the news. And then she would fill me in. That's happened many times.
That's how I get the news.
Yeah.
Right. It's through my friends and stuff like that, because I don't watch the news. I don't start my day off with negativity in my brain. I do that enough to myself that I don't need to have like the news and stuff like that do it to me. Like there was like something that happened in Atlanta last week, and my friend who's a 911 operator, she was telling me about it today. And she's like, you didn't know it happened? And I was like, no, I had no idea about anything. And I was like, wow, but I was like, that's how I find out major events, I remember years ago when I was living in Florida and they were like, there's a hurricane on the West Coast. And I was like, there's a hurricane in California? Well, there's a hurricane coming? I had no idea. And then it was here in Florida, on the west coast of Florida, and I'm on the East Coast. But I was just like, oh, okay. Like I'm okay with staying oblivious to a lot of stuff. It doesn't change my life or my quality. Yeah. It doesn't decrease my quality of life, I should say.
And that's what I tell people too is, yes, it's good to be informed, but where can I make a difference? That's where we're used to, social media cultures. Like when you're popular and you're famous, you can make more of a difference to more people that don't even know you. But where can I make a difference in where our world needs goodness is my local community. I want to know what's going on in my family. I want to know what's going on in my friends' lives. And I want to know what's going on in my local community. I want to know what's going on near me, where I can give more of a token than just knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
And you're right. How is knowing about a hurricane on the West Coast going to impact you? Is it going to change the way you're living right now? And when I asked that question, honestly, the answer was no. So I'm like, I was able to let go of that need to know what was going on in the world because I want to know what's going on where I can make an impact and where knowing about this news would cause me to want to act and be part of the solution to a crisis. For instance, the Texas floods. The Texas floods happened right around 4th of July, and there's different people that work in the schools that know families that lost their own children in this flood. And it's really tragic, but Texas has been coming together, and at different coffee shops and different restaurants, like you can offer a tip that would specifically go to the Texas floods. And I'm like, oh, like I heard about those floods from word of mouth, and I am like, oh, I have some extra money. I'd like to give it to the Texas floods, and knowing that I know people who are indirectly or directly affected by this makes me want to give alms in that way. But I think if everybody focused on being there for their village, everyone would be taken care of. So that's the mentality I like to have. I think we neglect our local village because we're so informed and plugged in and emotionally invested in bigger world news. And I'm not saying that to say that you shouldn't be informed at all, but I find that if I really want to be informed, maybe I'll subscribe to a newsletter to my email inbox that will inform me once a week, the Cliff Notes. But I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. I won't be like asking everyone to fill me in when they bring that up in a conversation, if they even do that at all. But I am invested in knowing what's going on in my local community because that's where I can be a solution to any gaps that there are.
Yeah. No, I think that's awesome. And that allows you to be more present for helping out individuals or organizations with either your time or money or prayer or encouragement or whatever, without having to document all of it, and that you're able to be there. Be more of a benefit, and people feel more loved and cared for and seen when we're not just on our phones the whole time.
Yep.
Now I'm sure for the ambitious women who rely on social media for work or ministry, like if in your coaching, what healthy boundaries, that you teach that could help them thrive without falling into like burnout or addiction?
Absolutely. So there's 3 Ds. And the reason I am starting with that is because it depends. Depends is not one of the Ds, but it depends because every person's unique calling and unique call on social media, as well as their call off of social media, just in their lives, is different. And every person's different. Every family is different. Every friendship is different. Every relationship is different. Every business is different. So when we're on social media a lot, we can see people prescribe like formulas or boxes that you can put yourself into for how to succeed. And I do the exact opposite. When you detox from the social media feed, you realize that your life is supposed to look custom made. So I say that your social media boundaries are also supposed to be custom made, and they're for you to decide. So the 3 Ds. So the first is discernment. So ask yourself, what am I called to do? What am I called to in this area of my life? You're not using social media for performing your personal life. You're not using social media to replace in-person relationships, but you notice that, hey, I want people to find out about what I'm doing, and I want to reach people. And that's my whole why for being on social media. And then when is social media a place of draining, where you're getting drained? So for me, I discerned that I want to be on social media because for my business, not for my personal life.
Right.
Because my people are addicted to social media and they're most likely to find me there. So I realized if I'm going to meet people where they're at and help them get from point A to point B, I have to go to point A.
Yeah.
I can't stay at point B and expect people to find me.
Yeah.
And so I discerned that there is good in me being on Instagram. So my point in saying that is discernment. Like, ask yourself, ask trusted mentors, ask the Lord, what am I called to do? Am I even called to be on social media for my business? Or are there other ways that my people would find me? Because that's the whole purpose of putting yourself out there, is for people to find you and know that you are specifically helping them.
Right.
The second D is design. So how can you design your life,
Mm-hmm.
your unique life, your unique calling, your unique day-to-day rhythms? And where does social media fit there, and where does social media not fit? For example, when you're doing certain work that really requires full focus and no distraction, you might sync a social media boundary app, because there's plenty of those. There's ClearSpace. There's actually a Android app called Minimalist Phone. And there's other apps that aren't coming to mind right now. But maybe you sync a social media lockdown app on your phone that locks down all your social media when you have certain tasks on your calendar, right? So design your day-to-day life and what you want your focus level to be, and also design what is it I'm even doing on social media. Am I responding to DMs? Am I posting about a new launch? Am I interacting with stories? What am I doing on social media? What have I decided is best for me on social media? And then schedule time just to do that. And then lock down your social medias with different passwords or different. I know the Apple App Store has like screen time passwords, all that. Schedule, like, I have 30 minutes a day to do my social media checklist, and then I'm off. And even you can use technology for better technology boundaries, like the social media password apps, as well as even having ManyChat, which automates your DM responses. So you don't even have to be logged in, and ManyChat will automatically respond to people and send them the links to your email list or your discovery calls. So you can move people from scrolling on your page to being on a discovery call with you.
Yeah.
So design what you want your life to look like when it comes to what you do on social media, as well as design automations and design the structure of your page to get the person from your page off of what you're doing. Because you don't want your potential customers to be spending their free time just scrolling your page. You want them on the phone with you. You want them on a call with you. You want them working with you. You want them buying your course.
And you want them building that. You want to build that relationship with them. And that's hard to do on social media. Yeah.
Yes. And then devotion. So what do I mean by that? What is your why behind your business to begin with? If you can go back to the why, you can do anyhow. So for me, I am devoted to the Lord, and I am all in and devoted to the mission behind this. My mission is to change lives. And when I realized that to be able to change lives, I have to continually inform myself on my niche, have conversations with other people, do my research, spend time with my favorite classical music, and write about this, write about what I'm learning, write about the conversations I'm having, which is why I decided to become a writer in this niche as well as a coach. And when I go back to what I'm devoted to and my why, I don't have a desire to spend time on social media. I realized social media scrolling is so out of line with my North Star that I'm not pulled to it. So that's the huge way to help with social media addiction. Is a lot of us turn to addiction, like the addictive patterns of social media, when we're bored, when we are uninspired, when we are unhappy about either the current task we're doing, or we're unhappy about what our life looks like, or we're unhappy with that fight we just had with our significant other, and we're just uncomfortable. That's when the way that the social media apps are designed to capitalize on our weaknesses and manipulate our brains into these patterns gets us, is when we're in those places. So when we are continually go back to what we're devoted to, why we're doing what we're doing, and our North Star with our, whether it's just a page you feel called to start because you do feel called to be somewhat of an influencer, or it's because it's promoting your business, or it's having an authentic personal social media page that you've discerned, because go back to the discernment, the D, the first D, the discernment D. You've discerned that this is for the good of the world, and this is not about me. This is about something greater. But we have to root ourselves in why we're even on social media, which goes back to being rooted in number one, the first D. So anyways, that is the roadmap I give people. And then I give them the space to discover what that is for them. Because giving people formulas and giving people just a box to fit themselves in is not what I'm about, because that is the lie that social media culture tells us. Your life has to look any certain way.
Yeah.
So yeah, the 3 Ds: discernment, design, devotion.
Yeah. There was a joke that I used to say a while ago that was like, even though I would like call my friend or shoot them a text for their birthday and be like, happy birthday, you know, that I was like, it's not real unless I post it on Facebook, right? And it's so silly because our personal relationship is, you know, like a phone call, hanging out together, spending time together, developing that relationship and so forth. And any of my closest friends are not people that we met online. They are people that I've met being in my environment, hanging out, doing things that I love to do.
You really truly met them in person, whether you first connected with them on social media or not. It's online meeting is, I mean, online friendships or online dating, like those terms are misnomers. It's online meeting, or it's online it's online messaging. That's what it is. It's online messaging and then in-person meeting, in-person connecting, in-person dating, whatever it is. You can message online, but the message is a means to an end. And the end is ending up in the flesh, in person.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. I'd love to ask you like 3 rapid fire questions. We have about a few minutes left. So if you had to delete every app from your phone except 3, which ones would you keep?
Yeah. So I would keep my camera, because I do like to capture moments, and they do say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Nothing wrong with that.
Take 1 or 2 photos, you know? I would keep my phone app, the phone, being able to make phone calls and FaceTime.
Okay.
Because being able to communicate in real time, even if you're not communicating in real life, you're communicating in real time.
Yeah.
And hearing someone's laugh, and if you're on video call with them, seeing their smile and seeing their facial expressions and their mannerisms, it's such a joyous part of communication. And this is going to sound really silly, but I would keep the weather app, because I like knowing what to expect, because I do like to go outside a lot. And one of the things I've discovered is I love when I'm done with work for the day, slamming my laptop shut, keeping my phone, oops, I just hit the microphone, keeping the phone upstairs, keeping the, I keep hitting my phone. I talk with my hands. Keeping all my technology upstairs in my apartment, and going to the pool at my apartment, watching the sunset, reading a book, dipping my toe in, and being able to just be outside and be there with my thoughts, or be able to just lock into a book that I've been looking forward to all day. Or
I think that probably kind of goes into my second question. It's like, what's one offline activity you could do for hours without checking your phone?
Oh yeah, I could sit at the pool and read.
Okay.
And another thing I can do for hours without reading is whenever I'm spending time with other people, it never crosses my mind to check my phone because
Yeah.
I'm such a people person and I'm such a extrovert and social person that once I did build those friendships and once I did build that social life, it became one of the biggest beacons in my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so the third and last question is, if your phone could talk, what do you think it would say to you now versus before you embraced digital
Yeah.
minimalism?
Well, my phone would tell me before I embraced digital minimalism that I'm a bit clingy.
Mhm.
I don't have a life outside of it, and that it's not healthy. That's not healthy.
Mhm.
And just like in a romantic relationship, it's not healthy to be clingy and to have zero life outside of that person. It's not healthy to have a codependent, clingy relationship with our phones either.
Mhm.
And my phone would tell you now that it's happy that I give it space and that I also get space, and that time with my phone is so much more intentional now.
Mm.
It gets space from me, I get space from it. We get to be completely independent,
Mhm.
but we get to work together when I want to communicate with somebody.
Yeah, yeah. Yep. And it's interesting because I have a good friend of mine who we used to date a few years ago, but he does not like texting. So if you really want to get a hold of him, you need to just call him. And if he's available,
Mhm.
he'll answer. And if he's not, you'll get voicemail and you just leave a message and then shoot a text. But there's been so many times because I'm more of like a texter. I'm like, okay, I just want to get out what I need to say and move on. Like I don't want to have to be on the phone for a while.
Mm.
And but with him, I've learned that if I want to have a conversation with him, that I need to pick up the phone and make a call, and he does the exact same thing.
Mm.
So it's but because of that, we have a very healthy friendship
Mhm.
and just really connect so much better every time we have a conversation. It's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome. Yeah. And it's amazing how little we even think to communicate with someone, like our phone communication style,
Mhm.
because that really does cause unspoken resentment that is completely unnecessary
Mhm.
because of the inner expectations we just have programmed in us.
Yep. So tell us how okay, so who's your ideal customer? The second
Yeah.
is how does someone find you?
Yeah.
Okay, who's your ideal client? I shouldn't say customer, but
Yeah.
who's your ideal
Absolutely.
client or someone that you
Yeah.
like to make a difference in their lives? Um,
Yeah.
how does someone find you? And yeah, and so yeah, let us know those two.
Yeah, absolutely. So my ideal customer client is someone who has big dreams and big
Mhm.
goals. That's why I say I work with ambition women. I specifically work with women because I've noticed that social media affects women completely differently, and I can only speak from that perspective. And also, I do coach from a Catholic Christian perspective, but I don't
Mhm.
exclusively work with people that share my faith. So I just don't hide the fact that I have that worldview from my program is formed by that worldview, but I don't only serve women who are Catholics or Christians.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, a woman that has big dreams that wants to live that deep down wants to live that life that she wants to praise, but just needs a little bit of guidance on getting off the screen and into that life, as well as being able to have a good life without having an perfect, Instagram worthy, perfect, everything's just perfect all the time, highlight
Mhm.
reel type of life, and work through the messy and know how to navigate the messy and know how to navigate that and build that community for herself offline. So that's who I work with, is women who just have big hearts and big dreams. And you can find me on my website. My website is currently going through maintenance right now, so I don't recommend that as your first way. But I don't. Soon, my website will be back up. But trulypresent.com, and I also have I do have an Instagram page. The handle is Truly Present Coaching. Except if you're not on social media, then you're not going to find me there, obviously. And then I have a podcast, and it's called Truly Present. And I believe all 3 of those links will be in the show notes. I am finally becoming more public with my writing and putting my writing out there to the world. And I have a Medium page that I believe I also shared with you. So yeah. And soon my podcast within the next few months is going to become a YouTube channel as well. So I will be on YouTube. Yeah. And you can subscribe to my newsletter where I post. I write about different things that I'm discovering, client wins, as well as you can book from the show notes of my podcast. You can book a complimentary unplugged clarity coaching call, and we can discover if we're a fit to work together.
Okay, that's amazing. We'll have all those links in the description. Monica, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have an amazing day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you. Everybody, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast with me today. Truly appreciate it. We look forward to having you on. Feel free to download your free copy of our 21-day transformational journal at youarelovedjournal.com. And we look forward to having you back. Thank you. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube page and youareloved.store all over social media. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of You Are Loved. If you have any topic ideas or would like to be a guest on the show, please hit us up on Instagram at youareloved.store.